and welcome to another Mongrel Dog production, and welcome to a supported ride once again with Perth Adventure Riders. It's a whole mixed bag of bikes and experience, and there's some conditions out here that have caught a few of us off guard. Anyway, grab your gear, let's go. Another supported ride with Perth Adventure Riders. This one's a little different. This one actually we're supported also by a tour company, DACA, Desert and Coastal Adventures. They'll be providing a bit of support in the form of catering and logistics, plus carrying the beer. But otherwise, yeah, 30 riders from Perth Adventure Riders going on a bit of a mystery tour. We actually don't know where we're going to end up this evening, but the boys from DACA are carrying a bag, our bags, our luggage, so most of us are travelling pretty light, which makes a big difference. It can be the difference between enjoying the ride or struggling a bit. So I believe we're going to make our way. We're currently in Pinjarra. This is the start point. Most of us have had to travel an hour or two to get here, and we're going to end up in Enine shortly, which is not a big distance by road, but it could take us a number of hours to get there, depending on which way we go. There's a couple of big adventure bikes on this trip in amongst the 30 riders. I'm not sure if they were going to expect these sorts of conditions. Well, I guess we'll know more later on, but certainly in these conditions, that's when it's a bonus to have somebody carrying the bags, taking some of the weight off the bikes, because there could be some riders in amongst the group who are actually stretched to about their limit, even on this stuff. And video doesn't do it justice. Some of the climbs are a little bit steep. That's to be expected here in the Darling Range. Uh-oh, there's something up here causing some grief. engine compression and feathering the brakes is not an option coming down here, because even that's not going to pull you up. A couple of the bikes, the bigger ones, are going to take a detour and meet us, I don't know, up the road somewhere. They're going to have to somehow bypass this section, and I don't blame them. I think somebody may be hurt. I've got to try and get out of this rut. Well, it looks like we're staying at the Lakebrook Dam campground this evening. While we've been out enjoying the day, the boys from DACA Tours have been putting together a feed for us. So once we finally pull up for the day, all we really have to do is put up our tents. I'm sure there'll be a fire this evening. So yeah, a few drinks around the fire, something to eat, and I don't know about the others, but in my case it'll be an early night. It's been a tough day today, tougher than I expected. The distances we have travelled aren't huge, but yeah, some of the conditions have been pretty tough. And been very hot and humid today as well. There's a cool change coming. I think we're due for a storm, so it could be a wet arse tomorrow.
following morning we had a fair bit of rain as predicted, to the point where a lot of blokes have got wet bedding and certainly wet tents and wet gear. So some of them, I think, myself included, are thinking about just cutting our losses and after breakfast just heading straight back to Perth.
Right, like many other riders, I've chosen to leave the group and just make my own way back to Perth. Some of the conditions there will be quite greasy, a bit sketchy, so I think the best thing for me to do, personally, is to just make my way home. That's not to say the weekend wasn't a success. Both Perth Adventure Riders, PAR, and DACA Tours put on a good show. Perth Adventure Riders came from humble beginnings, but now they've got over 4,000 members, which is not bad for a city the size of Perth. And you can be as active or as passive as you like. You can be very involved or just pick and choose which events and rides you want to go on. But Colin and a couple of his brothers do a very good job organising that site. And as for DACA Tours, they very good support from them, very good logistical support, able to provide catering, and they specialise, of course, in extended tours, 5 or 8 day tours. They're all self-contained. They even have their own fleet of bikes, which they can rent or hire out to riders who don't have a bike. So if that sort of thing floats your boat, and you think that's for you, then certainly a good option when somebody else does all the support and planning for you, and all you have to do is show up and ride. So I'll be home in a couple of hours, and you know what that means. I guess I'll see you on the other side. Oh, I forgot to mention, yesterday we lost a rider, Frank. He on one of the steep climbs, heavily rutted. He ended up crashing and damaged his only good knee. So get well soon, Frank.